You are tuned into the new home for IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with Coach B.
And Eternal. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
On Fox Sports Radio, 1350 a.m. IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning, 8 a.m.
Where the pros talk sports in Riverside and San Bernardino. Fox Sports 1350. KTDD San Bernardino. An iHeartRadio station.
What's up? This is TJ Ward from the Denver Broncos. You're now tuning to IE Sportsnet.
The Inland Empire Sports Authority.
We are live. This is IE Sportsnet right here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops right here. It's that one time of the month. Our co-host, Mr. Eternal, is on special assignment. I think we got the one and only Eternal on the phone. Is that you out there?
Yes. You know, we are live and direct. It is Eternal, man, co-host, the powerful and robust IE Sportsnet right here live on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM.
I told Greg that we didn't need to take any phone calls today, but I don't think he got the memo before we went on air. So you were fortunate to get your call in, Mr. Eternal. So, you know, it was a busy night last night. We had some good football going on. You know, we got that top five. Who you got at number 5, Eternal?
You know what, man? It is unique that you said that because we are having. I'm over. Like I said, I'm in the field today, so I'm trying to pull up the scores right now as we speak. I know that we had Rancho Cucamonga down there, but I couldn't, for whatever reason, my phone is now not allowing me to pull it up.
Oh, no. I got you. Number 4, we had Rancho Cucamonga. 4-1, they beat down on Damien. So they beat Damien 49-28. So you know what? We have Michelle on the show today. She'll be in the next segment. It looks like her prediction is saying that Rancho Cucamonga was one of the strongest teams out there. It looks like it's coming to fruition.
Well, one of the things that they've been talking about with Rancho Cucamonga is that, they obviously suffered a tough loss to Norco. But again, Norco is ranked right there in our top 5 as well. So that just shows you that these guys are competitors. They're going out there, they're well coached, and they're playing good football right now.
Absolutely, and it's funny you say Norco because Norco was number 4 on the top 5. Now, remember, if anybody wants to see the complete top 20 list, you can always go to iesportsnet.com to get that full list. So number 4 was Norco. They beat up on Roosevelt 42-28, and Norco came to play last night.
Yes, they did. And again, that's the Roosevelt Broncos out there in Eastville. They're a good program. They're an up-and-coming program. But again, Norco right now is showing that they're really lining themselves up for that big game against Centennial. But again, that quarterback, I tell you, Victor Veramontes is doing great things, leading the Cougars to a good start this year.
Absolutely. Once again, this is IE Coach B and the one and only Eternal on IE Sports and on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. Number 3, Vista Marietta. All they do is win. They're 4-1. They beat up on Great Oaks 27-17. We got to get out and see Great Oaks one day because I keep hearing about this team.
Yeah, well, they're another up-and-coming squad, well coached. They've been doing some really good things. They're obviously they're competitive. They gave Vista Marietta, a good run, and obviously, we have them scheduled very high in our top 5. So this shows you they're a quality program.
Absolutely, and our friend of the show, 2 friends of the show actually, Redlands East Valley 4-1 beat up on A.B. Miller last night 45-12. A.B. Miller's just having a tough time. I know they've won 2 games. At least they've doubled their wins from last year. Last year they only got 1 win over A.B. Miller. This year they got 2, but they ran into a tough Redlands East Valley and they fell 45-12.
Well, this is only the 3rd week. For the last 3 weeks. Rev has put up a total of 150 points in the last 3 weeks. So it just lets you know that these guys are on a roll. They're serious. They're really putting up a lot of points. So actually, A.B. Miller should be thankful that they didn't get the 50 ball put up on them.
Exactly. I don't put that many points up on Madden. So 150 points in 3 weeks. It probably doesn't help that I don't play Madden. But and you know who the big dog is. Number 1 in the iesportsnet.com top 5 weekly poll.
Right, and that is the Corona Centennial. They went out there, man, and they put it all over Riverside King, and that took place at King's Home Field, which is the Riverside City Field, one of the Riverside City Fields. But again, their Corona Centennial is just really putting the exclamation mark on them being the number one team out here in the Inland Empire. For all our money, we say they're the number one team in California, and again, they're showing it again with good reason by taking care of business last night.
Absolutely, I know they're ranked number one in state on Match Prep, and then I think the Excellent 25. I think they're ranked number 2 in the nation. They're 6-0. I mean, they are putting numbers up. JJ's committed to Arizona, and then you have the receiver. He's probably going to take his time, and he'll probably be a National Signing Day commit. But I mean, he can go to pretty much any school he wants to go to in the nation.
Oh, guaranteed. Those guys they're holding that letter for him. They're saying, hey, you know what? Just like we learned in this politics, they're saying, hey, you can bring JJ, your mother, whoever you want to get some education, as long as you
talk. Absolutely. So, what you're out there on special assignment? Anything that we should be looking for, Eternal?
Well, you know what, man? Again, we got a chance to hang out there at the Lakers. We were live in the locker room with the Lakers, pre-game and post-game. Had a great time. It was something, it was something special. Anytime you get a chance to go out there and hang out with the Lakers, it's always a good time. But one of the good things I got a chance to see with the Lakers, man, is we actually look really good. I talked to Roy Hibbert. I got a chance to see his pregame workout. The guy has he has a really quality jump shot. And Kobe talked a lot about his mid-range game being something they're going to need. And so it was really good to see. Saw Lou Williams out there. He looks really, really strong coming off the bench. And the good thing about Lou Williams is he's going to put a lot of pressure on Nick Young to really step his game up because they're both going to be competing for that 6-man. And then, like I said, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see D'Angelo Russell. He was a no play. He had
his booty bone.
I was just about to say he had a glute problem.
He wasn't out there twerking, was he?
He was out there. He must try to hit the metro or something like that. I heard his booty bone.
He dropped it like it's hot.
Indeed. But like I tell you, again, Toronto, what people don't know, and they're playing the Toronto Raptors. Toronto was one of the number one teams out there in the Eastern Conference last year during the regular season. So they have a talented team out there. So, it was no, they came out there, they came to play. You got another guy from the West Coast, DeMar Rosen, who was out there playing really well. They had,
from the USC? That DeMar Rosen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. And then, on a side note, Jim Ireland at the post game talked to Nick Young, and you guys get a chance to see the video. The video will be posted today on IE Sportsnet. But Jim Ireland went in there at post game and told Nick Young, hey, you know what? And play the. And I don't know, Greg. I don't know if you have the USC music, but if you do, you might want to hold it because you went there and told Nick Young, "Hey, Nick Young, what do you have to say? The USC, the Trojans just lost to Washington. His reaction.
Oh, come on, man.
His reaction.
What it is? John Ireland is a UCLA alum, so that's what it is. He was ribbing him, So yeah.
Oh, well, I tell you what. Now everybody knows. They know what's going on. Again, it was great. We had a chance to go out there and get a big shout out to our guy, John Black, who's like, he is. Let's just say we were cordially introduced.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but like I said, man, it was great stuff, man. And again, it's going to be a great show. And big shout out to Michelle for holding it down today.
Absolutely. And then we want to say thank you as well because I was, doing a special assignment. I know it's IE Sportsnet, but I was at San Manuel, courtesy of our guy Yost. For IE Sportsnet, I was doing the R. Kelly concert. I just so happened to take my wife, Brandy, on a date, but we were working. It was journalistic. So,
indeed. Well, that's the great thing about having having friends in high places. Again, John Theo did a great job over there at San Manuel. San Manuel is always treated us right. So again, that's one of those guys.
Yeah, and then when R. Kelly was on stage, I was like, man, don't be looking and singing to my woman like that.
Exactly right.
Just because you're good looking, tall, and rich, that doesn't mean anything.
Tall, dark, and handsome, and
you can sing. So yeah, but yeah, I know you got to get back and do your special assignment. You're getting it like you said, the one and only Miss Michelle Gardner. We're so happy to have her here again, sitting in for us from the Daily Bulletin, one of the best writers in the Inland Valley. We're gonna go ahead and shoot it out to commercial. Once again, Eternal on special assignment calling into IE Sportsnet. We thank you so much for calling in, Eternal. Anything you got to go before you, any parting shots?
Hey, man, no shout-outs, man. Just want to make sure everybody, look, if you guys ever want to know, if you guys want to get real-time sports scores on Friday night, make sure you guys log on to IESportsnet.com. Again, that's for real-time sports scores for all the schools in the Inland Empire. We got it right there for you guys.
Absolutely. We appreciate you calling in, one and only Eternal. We're going to go ahead and go to commercial. You're listening to IE Sportsnet with Coach B. And Eternal, I guess he drops off. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. Coming up, we got Mr. Donovan Williams from Los Osos High School, as well as Miss Michelle Gardner here on IE Sportsnet. Let's go.
You're listening to IESportsnet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Data knows you post selfies like they're going out of style. Data knows you've got no selfie control. Lucky for you, for just $35 a month, you can get unlimited talk, text, and more data than ever. So keep snapping and sharing. Boost Mobile cut the price and cranked the data. So stop spending a ton of money on a little data and start getting more data for less. Come to Boost Mobile and come to data. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store or boostmobile.com for details.
$35 plan includes 1 gigabyte a month of high-speed data. Video streaming limited to 3G speeds. After applicable data allotment reached, data speeds including video reduced to 2G speeds for remainder of plan cycle. International services extra. Offer and coverage not available everywhere and subject to change. State and local sales taxes/fees may apply when adding funds to accounts. Offer network use rules and other restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com or in-store materials for details.
Attention structured settlement recipients. Are you receiving future payments from a settled lawsuit? Do you receive annuity payments spread out over a long period of time? If you are receiving a structured settlement and want a lump sum payment, call CBC Settlement Funding now. If you qualify, you could be eligible for an immediate $1,000 fast-track advance. Get cash today to pay off credit card debt, buy a car, start a business, or make home improvements. Stop waiting for your money. Receive all or just a portion of your settlement today. Structured settlements are designed to spread out payments over 10 or 20 years. If you are receiving a structured settlement paid out over time, call to receive your personalized options and be sure to ask about a $1,000 fast-track advance. Get the money you deserve today.
Call CBC Settlement Funding now to discuss your free no-obligation quote at 1-800-648-4504, 1-800-648-4504. Again, that's 1-800-648-4504.
Did you know home appliance and major system breakdowns cost homeowners an average of $1,700 per year in repairs and replacements?
American Residential Warranty can help cover those costs with home service plans starting at less than $1 a day.
Plan options include coverage for central air, heat, and ductwork,
interior electrical systems and plumbing,
major kitchen appliances,
water heaters,
washers and dryers,
garage door openers,
ceiling fans, and more.
Even pools and spas.
American Residential Warranty replaced my dishwasher with a brand new one, and I only paid a small service fee.
I woke up on a Saturday morning, there was no hot water in the shower. So I called American Residential Warranty. They sent a repairman to fix the problem the same day.
Call now. There's no obligation. But hurry, if you wait until you need a home service repair,
it'll be too late.
Call now to get your home warranty. 1-800-969-0885. That's 1-800-969-0885.
Attention. The FDA has associated Depakote and Paxil with serious birth defects. If you took one of these drugs while pregnant and your child was born with a birth defect, the manufacturer may be to blame. If you took Depakote or Paxil and your child was born with anal atresia, cleft palate, clubfoot, cranial defects, heart defects, gastroschisis, omphalocele, PPHN, spina bifida, or other limb defect, call the Rely On Group. You and your child may be entitled to a significant cash award.
Call the Rely On Group right now and you'll be connected to an experienced attorney who will evaluate your case and determine if you may qualify for financial compensation. There is no risk on your part and you don't owe a penny unless we are successful.
If you took Depakote or Paxil while pregnant and your child was born with a birth defect,
call the Rely On Group at 800-219-6552. That's 800-219-6552.
Yo, what up? This is Sendog from Cypress Hill. You're listening to me on IE Sportsnet all day long, all day strong, you heard?
And we are back, the one and only IE Sportsnet right here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. This is Coach B, and sitting in for Eternal is the one and only best sports writer in the Inland Valley, Miss Michelle Gardner. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops right here on Fox Sports. How are you this morning, Miss Gardner?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing good. Thanks again. I know you said during football season it's hard to get you up, but you're here, you're excited. You didn't even have coffee this morning.
No, I don't need it. I've got really good people in here. We got good people in here today.
And you know, we did like you said before, we have all the teams and players for areas that you cover.
Absolutely.
So you're in your comfort zone today.
I am.
Absolutely. And we have a young man I know you've seen play, Mr. Donovan Williams, senior running back at Los Osos High School. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I'm good. You know, it's funny. I remember, he's a grown man now, voice deeper than mine. He's taller than mine. He's stronger than me, faster than me, all that. I remember seeing him as a young man when he played for this great program called the Fontana Trojans. So he's all grown up, and he's the stud running back over there. So I'm glad to see how your career has gone.
Thank you.
I know you don't remember me, but I definitely remember watching you play and seeing you out there, man, scoring some touchdowns. You were a beast back then, and you're a beast now.
Thank you.
So, you know, Los Osos, you guys started the season off 3-3. You guys had some great wins against Oak Hill, JW North, Silverado. Eddie and I were out there at the Oak Hills game. What a nail-biter.
Yes.
That was a game that could have gone either way. You guys ended up winning it in overtime. What were your thoughts about that game and how it came out? You were one of the keys of that game.
Overall, I think it was a great team effort. Like, we came out and did our thing, and then we kept on going, which was really good. So overall, it was a great team effort.
Yeah, I agree. And then last night, you guys had your first Baseline League game. You guys came up short against Chino Hills. Baseline, I think, pound for pound, they may be better individual programs across the state, but as a league, I think that's one of the toughest leagues in the entire state. What did you guys learn from that loss last night that's going to help you this season?
I think we learned that we need to work on special teams more and getting ourselves out of bad situations. So overall, if we're in a good situation, take it and take the momentum and then keep on going with it. So overall, I think we just need to come back next week, have a good practice, and then we could do our thing.
The Baseline League, we've talked about the Baseline League ad nauseum. Every game is a battle. What is it like to play in a league like that where you know every single week you got to be at your best?
It's a little scary, but it gives you drive. You got to come out and practice and have a great practice every single day. There's no days off in the Baseline League. So.
And also, the teams are so close geographically. These are your rivals. They're not just your league teams. These are your rivals. You know those guys.
Yeah. I know a lot of people from all the other schools, and it's just good having a friendly rivalry all over each week. So.
Okay, so next week you got Etiwanda, and then you got Rancho. So obviously those are, we just said, your rivals, your neighborhood foes. What about those games? Is it more intense because they're neighborhood teams, not just league teams, or is it kind of just like every other game?
It's like we can prepare for it every other game, but when it's game time, it's on and cracking.
I like it. It's on and cracking. Once again, you're listening to IE Sportsnet on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. I'm Coach B, and sitting in for Eternal is the Miss Michelle Gardner. Now, you know, when you were with the Fontana Trojans, my daughter used to come around a lot too. She was a little baby then, but now she goes to a school called Etiwanda. So if you can do me a favor next week when you guys play Etiwanda, go easy on them. You know, I don't want my daughter coming home crying again. Etiwanda's having a tough year. Etiwanda's having a really tough. It's so sad because I was talking about Etiwanda lost last night. My daughter's like, Dad, I don't want to hear it. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm just doing my job. I'm a sports reporter, but she hates that. But you're a senior. Any thoughts? I know we talked a little bit off air. Are there any programs or any colleges? I know who your choice is or where you want to go, but are there any schools that they're, you know, what's your top three?
My top three is Arizona State, UCLA, and hopefully Stanford comes in. So
I like it. So he's got some grades. I like it. And then I had one more question for you. You know, I thought about it. You said Stanford and it threw me off. Who are your favorite running backs? Who do you pattern yourself after? You know, when you were running, I saw the power back coming out of you. So who are some of your running backs that you love?
Adrian Peterson, Le'Veon Bell, and I think those are just my two for right now that I really try to go after and follow. So
no O.J. Simpson, no Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush is a good one too. Reggie Bush is a good one, but I feel like he wasn't a power back. He was more of a speed back, and so I'm more of a power back, and those are two very powerful backs.
How about Mike Garrett, Marcus Allen?
Marcus Allen is good. Yes,
those are all running back in USC, but that's not important. So. No, I did that.
We know where your loyalties are.
Exactly. There it is. He even got the music for us. So.
No, we're good.
Okay.
So what about next week? You excited? Do you think that you had won a couple games in a row? You lost last night. You're going to get it back going in the right direction?
Yeah, of course. We got to turn this around and just keep on focusing on next week. Can't think about the loss that we had last night. So.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I think, like I said, again, looking at your career over the years, I know Los Osos is one of the stronger programs out there. You guys are you're 3-3. I know you guys are going to go deep in that playoff run. You guys are, like Michelle said, you guys got games against Etiwanda, Rancho Cucamonga for the bragging city rights. But I think you guys are going to have a phenomenal year. Hopefully you get into one of those schools you want to get into. And I know the school that you really want to go to, so I hope you get there, and I wish you the best. Devin Williams. Donovan. I'm sorry. I always do that. I am terrible. Donovan Williams. And I'm sitting here looking right at his name. Donovan Williams. I'm terrible with names.
It's early. That's your excuse.
Yes. Starting running back, defensive back, senior at Los Osos High School. We appreciate you coming into IE Sportsnet so early in the morning.
Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and go to a commercial break. You're listening to IE Sportsnet with Coach B, and sitting in for Eternal is Miss Michelle Gardner. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM.
This is Xavier Henry from the LA Lakers. You're listening to IE Sportsnet.
Data knows you post selfies like they're going out of style. Data knows you've got no selfie control. Lucky for you, for just $35 a month, you can get unlimited talk, text, and more data than ever. So keep snapping and sharing. Boost Mobile cut the price and cranked the data. So stop spending a ton of money on a little data and start getting more data for less. Come to Boost Mobile and come to data. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store or boostmobile.com for details.
$35 plan includes 1 gigabyte a month of high-speed data. Video streaming limited to 3G speeds. After applicable data allotment reached, data speeds including video reduced to 2G speeds for remainder of plan cycle. International services extra. Offer and coverage not available everywhere and subject to change. State and local sales taxes/fees may apply when adding funds to accounts. Offer network use rules and other restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com or in-store materials for details.
Attention structured settlement recipients. Are you receiving future payments from a settled lawsuit? Do you receive annuity payments spread out over a long period of time? If you are receiving a structured settlement and want a lump sum payment, call CBC Settlement Funding now. If you qualify, you could be eligible for an immediate $1,000 fast-track advance. Get cash today to pay off credit card debt, buy a car, start a business, or make home improvements. Stop waiting for your money. Receive all or just a portion of your settlement today. Structured settlements are designed to spread out payments over 10 or 20 years. If you are receiving a structured settlement paid out over time, call to receive your personalized options and be sure to ask about a $1,000 fast-track advance. Get the money you deserve today.
Call CBC Settlement Funding now to discuss your free no-obligation quote at 1-800-648-4504, 1-800-648-4504. Again, that's 1-800-648-4504.
Did you know home appliance and major system breakdowns cost homeowners an average of $1,700 per year in repairs and replacements?
American Residential Warranty can help cover those costs with home service plans starting at less than $1 a day.
Plan options include coverage for central air, heat, and ductwork,
interior electrical systems and plumbing,
major kitchen appliances,
water heaters,
washers and dryers,
garage door openers,
ceiling fans, and more.
Even pools and spas.
American Residential Warranty replaced my dishwasher with a brand new one, and I only paid a small service fee.
I woke up on a Saturday morning, there was no hot water in the shower. So I called American Residential Warranty. They sent a repairman to fix the problem the same day.
Call now. There's no obligation. But hurry, if you wait until you need a home service repair,
it'll be too late.
Call now to get your home warranty. 1-800-969-0885. That's 1-800-969-0885.
Attention! The FDA has associated Depakote and Paxil with serious birth defects. If you took one of these drugs while pregnant and your child was born with a birth defect, the manufacturer may be to blame. If you took Depakote or Paxil and your child was born with anal atresia, cleft palate, clubfoot, cranial defects, heart defects, gastroschisis, omphalocele, PPHN, spina bifida, or other limb defect, call the Rely On Group. You and your child may be entitled to a significant cash award.
Call the Rely On Group right now and you'll be connected to an experienced attorney who will evaluate your case and determine if you may qualify for financial compensation. There is no risk on your part and you don't owe a penny unless we are successful.
If you took Depakote or Paxil while pregnant and your child was born with a birth defect,
call the Rely On Group at 800-219-6552. That's 800-219-6552.
This is Ryan Kelly with the LA Lakers. And this is the IE Sports Net.
And we are back. This is the one and only IE Sports Net on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. I am Coach B, and sitting in for Eternal is Miss Michelle Gardner from the Daily Bulletin. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops right here. Now, I'm pretty excited, Michelle. We have one of the players, when we talked about football, you called in a couple of times, and there's one kid's name who kept coming up and kept coming up and kept coming up, and you said, we've got to get this kid in.
I told you got to have him.
Yeah, you said he's one, not only is he a great football player, but one of the best kids in the Inland Valley.
Absolutely.
So we have, and I'm not going to mess up his name, Michelle. I'm not going to mess it up.
You can't mess this one up.
Mikey Dean, running back and defensive back, senior at Chaffey High School, here joining the IE Sportsnet. How are you doing this morning, Mr. Dean?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for coming into IE Sportsnet. We appreciate you being here. We know you're doing big things out there, and let's jump right into it. Chaffey High School historically has not been a school that's received a lot of press until they had one special player, and his name is Mikey Dean. Last night in the Cat Bowl, you rushed for over 200 yards. You had 6 touchdowns in a 47-13 win over Ontario. Tell us a little bit about your performance and what your thoughts was on that game.
Well, this has always been a huge rivalry for us, so we go into this game looking forward to it, and we got out early on them. Our line was doing great, as always, and so was our blocking backs, and we just got right to it.
Right. Now, we talked about this. I know 6-0 is nice. I know that's great. But, you know, teams always say we can go 1-900 as long as we beat our rival. What was it like to win that? It's the Cat Bowl?
That's what they call it.
Yeah. What was that like to win that game and beat your rival and walk off with that trophy?
It was awesome. I won it all 4 years of high school, so it was awesome.
There you go.
So 6 games in, now you've got over 1,700 yards, a lot of touchdowns, 27 touchdowns, I guess, now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So
yes.
many he lost count, Michelle.
I think I'm starting to lose count, too. And you got a school record coming up. 2,700, I think, is your school record. Have you kind of thought about that at all?
I think about it every single game. I also think about the single game rushing record, which is 415.
Oof.
And I'm trying to break that one too.
You know what? If you ever played 4 quarters, you might get that. How many games have you actually played 4 quarters this year?
2.
Wow. So I think you would have had that 415 if he'd actually played 4 quarters last night even. So what about the Max Prep? Max Preps gave you the National Player of the Week 1 week. I believe, which game was that for? Do you remember?
I think it was...
It looks like it was Bloomington.
Yeah, it was Bloomington.
What about that honor? I mean, think about that. They picked you as the top player in the country.
I know. I was actually really proud of myself. I didn't know until a couple days later after the fact. And I don't know. I just felt really accomplished.
And I tell you, this kid is so modest. Once again, you're listening to IE Sports Net on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. Brian, Coach B, with Michelle Gardner from the Daily Bulletin. We're in with Mikey Dean. I got it right again, Michelle.
There you go.
I got it right again. Now, I don't want you looking ahead because I know you still got tough games against Don Lugo and Montclair coming up. But on October 30th, you guys have a huge matchup coming up against Ontario Colony. I know they have a couple of defeats, but they've played a tough schedule. No bulletin board material. But what are your thoughts about that game? I don't want you looking ahead, but what are your thoughts about that game?
Since the summer, since last year even, our whole team has looked forward to that game. I beat them as a freshman. We beat their freshman team. Mm-hmm. So I've always wanted to beat them again. And that's our biggest game that we're looking forward to.
Absolutely. And, who are some of the players or who are some of the teams that you've been impressed with? I know, you are killing it in league. You have been the talk of that league all season. Like I said, Michelle has talked about you very highly, so I knew we had to get you on the show. But who are some of the players in league that have impressed you?
Khalil Dorsey, he's doing great on defense. Josh Thompson, he's a great quarterback. I'll give it to him. There was a running back last night from Ontario. I'm not sure his name. He was quick. He's only a sophomore. And that's too much. That's about all I know right now.
How about some teammates?
Well, our linemen are great. We have Frank Venegas at blocking back, Alex Fernandez, Raymond, Maldonado. Those are all our blocking backs. And then our centers, we call him Chancho. That's his nickname.
Running backs love to get the line in, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I gotta tell you, I talked to Coach Brown a couple weeks ago. You know that Mikey takes his linemen out for lunch?
Really?
Yeah. Last week or 2 weeks ago against Colton, every game we put up over 250, I'll take them out.
Wow.
So last time
Who does that?
I mean, you're going to be using a lot of allowance. I mean,
yeah, I bought him pizza before, McDonald's, donuts.
Nice.
You got to keep those guys that block for you happy, right?
A high school kid. Now, Michelle, once again, we're sitting in with Mikey Dean here on IE Sports Net on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. Michelle, you said you had a favorite Mikey Dean moment that came last year.
So we all know that he runs the ball like a demon, okay, and then nobody can stop him. But last year he played defense. Not playing much defense this year, right?
No.
Okay. So last year they're playing Bloomington, and he's playing defense. And he goes up all 5'7" of you? 7.5?
I was a little shorter last year.
Okay. So he goes up and takes away a ball from a receiver that's probably, I think he was 6'3", 6'4"-ish.
Yeah.
Not only does he take the ball away from the guy, he runs it back for a touchdown, like 70 yards.
Nice.
And we all just looked at each other like he did not just do that. Like, really?
Absolutely.
But that's Mikey Dean.
Yeah, Mikey Dean. I mean, who are some of the players that you look after and you want to play like and you want to be like? Who are some of your favorite back in any position?
At running back, I would say DeAnthony Thomas and
Black Mamba.
And Dree Archer. Dree Archer, he's a lot smaller player. He's in the NFL right now. I really look up to him. I think I watch his video before every single game.
Yeah, I love Sproles. Sproles is one that he's a little guy. I was a little guy too. And in football, I was too small to play, so I just didn't play. But that's good stuff. Do you any schools in particular that you're looking at or looking at you?
Well, I have an offer from Western New Mexico and Trinity International.
Nice. That's right. We tweeted that.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely looking into Azusa Pacific.
Nice.
I went to their game last weekend, and I absolutely loved it there. And I've also been talking to like the Army and the Navy.
Nice. If you can get into, I always tell kids, if you can get into one of those service academies, you got to take that.
Yeah,
you got to take that.
That's tough though.
Looking at that.
Absolutely. Anything else, Miss Gardner?
No, I'm good.
You're good? You're good to go? Absolutely. Well, like I said, I knew we had to get you in. And just like Michelle said, you are one of the, I'll tell you right now, if I played maybe negative minutes in high school when I was in football, if I would have got 200 yards in my whole high school career, everybody would have known about it. But, I mean, you do this on a nightly basis. One of the modest kids takes his lineman out to lunch. I mean, is that amazing or what?
Nope, I'm not surprised.
Yes. We certainly appreciate you coming in.
Thank you
Mikey
for bringing
Dean.
me out.
Absolutely. He's won national awards and Max Prep Player of the Week. This kid is going to do amazing things. I can see a bright future ahead of you. We definitely appreciate you coming to IE Sports Net. We're going to go ahead and step out to a quick commercial break. You're listening to IE Sports Net with Coach B, and sitting in for Eternal is Miss Michelle Gardner from the Daily Bulletin. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops right here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
This is the one and only Coach B.
And Eternal.
From IE Sportsnet, heard right here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM, every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Now, let's talk fantasy sports for a minute. FanDuel one-week games are almost here.
FanDuel is the leader in one-week fantasy football with more winners and more payouts than any other site.
They're paying over $75 million a week this season.
Salary cap format. Pick any players you want for just 1 week.
Entry fees are starting at just $1, and anyone can play.
Man, that is a good hookup. Go to FanDuel.com, click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner, use our code, IESportsNet, sign up now.
Special offers for new users. For every dollar you deposit, FanDuel will match it up to $200, and that gets earned as you pay. That's a bonus of up to $200, and it's only good for the first 50 players. Go to IESportsNet in the upper right corner on FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com. Sign up today.
Did you know home appliance and major system breakdowns cost homeowners an average of $1,700 per year in repairs and replacements?
American Residential Warranty can help cover those costs with home service plans starting at less than $1 a day.
Plan options include coverage for central air, heat, and ductwork,
interior electrical systems and plumbing,
major kitchen appliances,
water heaters,
washers and dryers,
garage door openers,
ceiling fans, and more.
Even pools and spas.
American Residential Warranty replaced my dishwasher with a brand new one, and I only paid a small service fee.
I woke up on a Saturday morning. There was no hot water in the shower. So I called American Residential Warranty. They sent a repairman to fix the problem the same day.
Call now. There's no obligation. But hurry, if you wait until you need a home service repair,
it'll be too late.
Call now to get your home warranty. 1-800-969-0885. That's 1-800-969-0885.
Attention patients who've been implanted with an IVC filter. If you or a loved one received an inferior vena cava filter and are now suffering complications, call the Reliant Group right now. You may be eligible for financial compensation. IVC filters are implanted into the inferior vena cava vein to prevent blood clots from traveling into the lungs, causing pulmonary embolisms. Unfortunately, these filters can fracture, move throughout the body, pierce blood vessels and organs, tilt, or become irretrievable. These failures can result in a number of serious injuries, including internal bleeding, organ damage, infection, and even death. If you were implanted with an IVC filter and were injured, you may be owed compensation from the manufacturer.
Call the Reliant Group right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation for your pain and suffering.
If you or a loved one has been implanted with an IVC filter and the device failed, call the Reliant Group at 800-219-2913. That's 800-219-2913.
Attention! The FDA has associated Depakote and Paxil with serious birth defects. If you took one of these drugs while pregnant and your child was born with a birth defect, the manufacturer may be to blame. If you took Depakote or Paxil and your child was born with anal atresia, cleft palate, clubfoot, cranial defects, heart defects, gastroschisis, omphalocele, PPHN, spina bifida, or other limb defect, call the Reliant Group. You and your child may be entitled to a significant cash award.
Call the Reliant Group right now and you'll be connected to an experienced attorney who will evaluate your case and determine if you may qualify for financial compensation. There is no risk on your part and you don't owe a penny unless we are successful.
If you took Depakote or Paxil while pregnant and your child was born with a birth defect,
call the Reliant Group at 800-219-6552. That's 800-219-6552.
Yo, what up? This is Sendog from Cypress Hill. You're listening to me on IE Sportsnet all day long, all day strong, you heard?
And we are live. This is IE Sportsnet right here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. I am the one and only Coach B, and sitting in for Eternal is Michelle Gardner from the Daily Bulletin. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here. Now, I'm going to get this right, Michelle. I'm going to get this right. Coach Ceniceros.
I told you were going to mess that up. You were doomed on that one.
But, okay, Coach C from Chino Hills. I'm sorry, Chino High. Chino High, not Chino Hills. Chino High.
You're having a bad
Chino
day
High.
today,
I know,
buddy.
right? A little rough, huh? A little rough. Getting that name wrong kind of threw me off. I'll do this. Instead of me butchering your name, Coach, I'll have you go ahead and say your name properly to the IE Sportsnet audience.
Sure. The correct pronunciation is Jesse Ceniceros.
There we go. I knew that.
There we go.
I knew that.
Common pronunciation.
Exactly. So what we want to do, Coach, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Last night, you guys had a tough loss. You played a solid non-league schedule highlighted by a 3 overtime win over your rival, Don Lugo. That's 3 overtimes. That is amazing. Tell us how exciting that game was and how good it was to beat your rival.
Yeah, I mean, being new to the community there at Chino High School, I didn't realize how big that milk can game was, and it's just an amazing experience. All the whole community gathers around these kids in each school, and to be a part of a game like that, I was told by many people that was probably the best game that they had ever seen. And it was a really nice experience. It was good for our kids because, again, as a new coach, you're trying to come in and change the mindset and the way that the kids look at the season, and it was good for us. It was really good for our program.
Absolutely. You guys are having a great year. You're off to a 5-1 start. Charter Oaks was a league game. Max Prep has them ranked 67th in the state. Now you have home games against Diamond Ranch, another 5-1 team. It doesn't get any easier for you, Coach.
Yeah, the Hacienda League is tough. It's a tough league. I honestly think it's one of the toughest leagues in CIF. But I expect a lot of big things from our kids, and I have the confidence in them that we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Again, Hacienda League I think is overlooked too, and I talked about this with the Diamond Ranch coach earlier this year. What about this league, and do you think it's just it doesn't get enough publicity and people don't know how good it really is?
To be honest, I'm not sure, but like you said, we got the number 67, ranked team in the state in that league. You have Los Altos, which was in the CIF championship game last year. You got West Covina, which is always a top team in CIF in that division, and then you got Diamond Ranch, which has always got a lot of talent, so again, it's to be thrown into a league like that. Coming in as a first-year coach, I knew I was going to have my work cut out for me. But again, like I said, I got a good group of young kids. They work really hard. They bought into my system, so we'll be fine. Our goal was to come in and make the playoffs. So we still look okay. We'll be fine.
So you run that double wing offense. You're a product of the Bloomington double wing. So obviously that means you got a great back in DeCray West. Willie Morris, I know when I saw that game, he impressed me a lot. But who are some of the other guys on your team that have played very well for you this year?
You know what? We have a sophomore. His name is Andrew Almazan. That he's really fast. Matter of fact, he reminds me a lot of our previous guest,
Mikey Dean.
Mikey Dean.
Yeah,
over at Chaffey. Same type built, not a real big guy, but he's just so fast, elusive. He's done really well for us. We have a big fullback guy that's been opening up holes for us. His name is Adrian Alfaro, which he's done a great job. And then also our quarterback, believe it or not, for what we do, he's really created some things for us. Matter of fact, last night he had a really good game. So those are three of the other guys other than the DeCray West and then Willie Morris that have done some key stuff for us.
And with you, like we said, the Hacienda League, great league, very underrated league. Who are some of the players in league that you've been impressed with? I know you've only had one conference game, but I know you're watching tape and scouting.
Yeah, well, that Eccles kid that we faced last night, he's just a tremendous athlete. When I was at Norwalk, we had a kid named Rashad Penny, which is running for San Diego State right now. He's doing really good things. Matter of fact, he reminds me, Echo kids reminded me a lot of Rashad Penny. But they also had another kid there that, I said, hey, they have two Pennies on that team. So, and we only had one over there. But, just those two guys, just tremendous athletes. Those were kind of game changer type guys where the moment they step on that field, they can make big plays. And unfortunately for us, they did that last night. Special teams.
Good stuff. And once again, you're listening to IE Sportsnet right here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. I am Coach B. And sitting in for Eternal is Miss Michelle Gardner from the Daily Bulletin. Now, I'll ask you, Coach. You guys have already played Don Lugo. your rival. But is there a game on the schedule that you're looking for this year, or is it just whoever's on the calendar?
To be honest, every game from here on out is a big game for us. And like I said, our goal is to reach the playoffs and make deep runs, because that's pretty much what I've always been used to. For us, the playoffs is that real season that counts, and that's what I'm trying to get the kids to believe in. So, but in order for us to get there, we every single game from here on out, 4 games for us, we have to win them.
Mm-hmm.
Is it tough at all being a new coach, not being from the area, not having been an assistant here? Now you're coming into a new league and you're kind of just getting to know these teams. So is there kind of a learning process when you come into a new league from outside?
Yeah, of course. Charter Oak, that was the first time I've ever played Charter Oak. But, again, Lou Farrar over there, he's a legend. I was just talking to him last night. He's been there 48 years.
Wow.
At that school.
Wow.
So, that's an honor to them and what they've done there. They, one of the top programs in the state. But I've also had some experience with West Covina, the West Covinas, because they were in our division in 2013 when we made the championship. We played them in the first round. So I do have a little history there. Los Altos, familiar with the head coach there and what they've done. And so, I am new, but yet I've also had some experience with some of the teams in our league.
And has it been? Speaking of that, and I know they were talking about this on sports radio, and this is one of the things like Sarkeesian is running into at SC. When you have seniors that know they're on their way out, and they're used to doing something a certain way, have you had any difficulties with getting some of those guys to buy in, or everyone's all on board? Because you guys are 5-1.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's really been a nice transition. I've come in and the kids have really gathered and rallied around not only myself but the coaching staff, and that's another thing. I'm blessed with probably one of the best coaching staffs that I've ever put together. And so it's been a really transition. The kids have really worked hard and they're continuing to work hard. Obviously, not every program is perfect. You're always going to have a bump in the road, but one of our models for our program is adapt and overcome.
Right.
So they've done a really good job of that. So.
It makes life a lot easier. And I know, Michelle, you covered that Chino Valley. Any stories or anything we can think of with that Chino team?
What Chino hired any Chino team?
The Chino High team. Yeah. I want to make sure I didn't say Chino Hills. You see, Coach looked at me when I accidentally said Chino Hills.
No, I could just say that the triple overtime game was probably one of the best games I've ever covered. I don't get to see Chino a lot because I'm stuck doing, and I don't want to say stuck because I like doing the baseline league, but I also like seeing other teams too. But that was one of the more enjoyable games if you consider the atmosphere. Both teams played hard, both teams played well and left it all on the field. And
right.
Other than the fact I was a little stressed because it was triple overtime and I had 5 minutes to write the story.
Right.
But it was a great, and even Luis Garcia from Don Lugo told me after, and he's a longtime Don Lugo guy, played at the school, was an assistant before he was the head coach. He said that was probably the best can game ever.
Right,
and
right.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Now, I keep hearing about the milk can. Explain, you guys actually have a milk can?
Yeah, there's an actual milk can, an authentic one that's polished up, and they've bolted on some plaques on there.
Yeah.
So every year, that game, the winners go on that milk can.
Does that tie into the dairy farms in Chino?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. A lot of, and that's the great thing about Chino is a lot of tradition.
Right.
There's a lot of pride there in that city, and again, the community really they rally around the high schools there. So it was a really nice experience, and again, I'm happy to be there at Chino because. Again, my goal as a head coach is to build a powerhouse program there, which I think we'll do.
You guys are doing it. You guys are absolutely doing it. So the milk can is at Chino for another year.
I have a picture of it too. I'll show you when we get off the air. I'll show you the picture of the milk can.
We'll have to tweet it out on Instagram and Twitter and everything, and send it out. Oh yeah, that's nice. I can see it. It's a legit milk can. So we'll definitely have to get that out on the social media for everyone to see what that looks like. So Coach, I'm not even going to butcher your name again. I'm just going to say Coach C.
There you go.
Coach C, Chino High School coach. Not, I don't want to make that mistake again because he looked at me like he was going to make me do up downs. He was going to make me get out there and running, and I'm a little too old to be doing that now. So we thank you so much, Coach C, for coming into IE Sports. Now I know it's early in the morning, so we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's make this an annual thing. We've got to bring you back again next year. So you're listening to IE Sports Net with Coach B, and sitting in for Eternal is Miss Michelle Gardner from the Daily Bulletin. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.
Los Angeles Lakers.
This is Xavier Henry from the LA Lakers. You're listening to IE Sports Net.
This is the one and only Coach B.
And Eternal.
From IE Sportsnet, heard right here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM, every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Now, let's talk fantasy sports for a minute. FanDuel one-week games are almost here.
FanDuel is the leader in one-week fantasy football with more winners and more payouts than any other site.
They're paying over $75 million a week this season.
Salary cap format. Pick any players you want for just 1 week.
Entry fees are starting at just $1, and anyone can play.
Man, that is a good hookup. Go to FanDuel.com, click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner, use our code, IE Sportsnet, sign up now.
Special offers for new users. For every dollar you deposit, FanDuel will match it up to $200, and that gets earned as you pay. That's a bonus of up to $200, and it's only good for the first 50 players. Go to IE Sportsnet in the upper right corner on FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com. Sign up today.
Did you know home appliance and major system breakdowns cost homeowners an average of $1,700 per year in repairs and replacements?
American Residential Warranty can help cover those costs with home service plans starting at less than $1 a day.
Plan options include coverage for central air, heat, and ductwork,
interior electrical systems and plumbing,
major kitchen appliances,
water heaters,
washers and dryers,
garage door openers,
ceiling fans, and more.
Even pools and spas.
American Residential Warranty replaced my dishwasher with a brand new one, and I only paid a small service fee.
I woke up on a Saturday morning, there was no hot water in the shower. So I called American Residential Warranty. They sent a repairman to fix the problem the same day.
Call now. There's no obligation. But hurry, if you wait until you need a home service repair,
it'll be too late.
Call now to get your home warranty. 1-800-969-0885. That's 1-800-969-0885.
Attention patients who've been implanted with an IVC filter. If you or a loved one received an inferior vena cava filter and are now suffering complications, call the Reliant Group right now. You may be eligible for financial compensation. IVC filters are implanted into the inferior vena cava vein to prevent blood clots from traveling into the lungs, causing pulmonary embolisms. Unfortunately, these filters can fracture, move throughout the body, pierce blood vessels and organs, tilt, or become irretrievable. These failures can result in a number of serious injuries, including internal bleeding, organ damage, infection, and even death. If you were implanted with an IVC filter and were injured, you may be owed compensation from the manufacturer.
Call the Reliant Group right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation for your pain and suffering.
If you or a loved one has been implanted with an IVC filter and the device failed, call the Reliant Group at 800-219-2913. That's 800-219-2913.
Attention! The FDA has associated Depakote and Paxil with serious birth defects. If you took one of these drugs while pregnant and your child was born with a birth defect, the manufacturer may be to blame. If you took Depakote or Paxil and your child was born with anal atresia, cleft palate, clubfoot, cranial defects, heart defects, gastroschisis, omphalocele, PPHN, spina bifida, or other limb defect, call the Reliant Group. You and your child may be entitled to a significant cash award.
Call the Reliant Group right now and you'll be connected to an experienced attorney who will evaluate your case and determine if you may qualify for financial compensation. There is no risk on your part and you don't owe a penny unless we are successful.
If you took Depakote or Paxil while pregnant and your child was born with a birth defect,
call the Reliant Group at 800-219-6552. That's 800-219-6552.
What's up? This is TJ Ward from the Denver Broncos. You're now tuning to IE Sports Net.
The Inland Empire Sports Authority.
And we are back. This is IE Sports Net right here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. This is Coach B, and sitting in for Eternal is Miss Michelle Gardner from the Daily Bulletin. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops right here I want to thank you so much once again for coming in, Miss Gardner. I know it's early.
It's good. It's worth it.
But you said you normally don't wake up till noon.
You know what? Friday nights are tough because by the time we finish a game and I wind down and I'm looking at all the scores and seeing how everybody else did, and it's pretty late before I usually get to sleep on Friday night.
I could imagine. In one game with this week, we have a Thursday night lights. We have a huge, ginormous matchup that pretty much decides the baseline, right?
Not really. I mean, it's only the second week of league play, but obviously it's two of the pivotal players that we thought, week one, we thought these were going to be two of the teams contending, and we'll see.
Right. Rancho and Chino Hills they're doing well, and you said the game is at
It's Thursday night, and I believe it's at Osos because Rancho plays at Osos.
Right.
And that's why they're playing Thursday because Osos has the field Friday.
Interesting.
Okay, so.
Fortunately, Rancho is getting their own stadium. And, I have that same dilemma. My daughter goes to Etiwanda, and they play the games at Ontario Colony.
Right. Well, you know what? Next year, I don't think we're going to have hardly any Thursday games because everybody's going to have their own stadium. Etiwanda, Rancho, Alta Loma. So very few teams will be playing on Thursday.
Alta Loma's getting the field, too.
Yes. And you know what? The only good thing about Thursday, it's tough doing a football game on Friday, and it's also tough doing one Thursday, but it's nice to see teams on Thursday that I may not see any other point. So I kind of like doing Thursday games for that reason.
Right, so you can get out and see some more. So I guess that Chaffey School District, they must have got some serious bond money or something, because that's 3 stadiums they're building.
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for the schools, because I still don't think when you play off campus, you draw as many people or generate the excitement that you do when you're playing on campus.
Exactly, I agree. When I went to high school, we had our own field and our own stadium. We didn't have to share with anybody, so that's good. But we've got to get Rev a field.
Who knew? Next year, they might be the only team. I'm trying to think of another team that doesn't have a field.
Right. And Rev is
Rev.
Right, it's Rev. They're dominating, and now they used to play at RCC. Now they're at Citrus Valley, but Rev needs their own stadium. But one thing that's been big on the radar, Michelle, that you had an opinion on is the cheerleading. So.
You know what? I'm probably going to get hate tweets from cheerleaders out there, but obviously the CIF mandated that this week that it's a competition sport, CIF sanctioned sport starting in, I think, the school year 2017-18. So, I want to know if I have to pick an all-area cheerleader team. Like, really? Somebody jumps higher than somebody else, so she's going to be all-area cheerleader? I don't know. But I think that there's safety concerns with some of the things those girls do, and they are athletes.
Yes.
I don't take that away from them, but the stunts they do are risky, and there have been a lot of cheerleading injuries in the past, and I got to wonder if there's going to be something to mandate what they can do and can't do, because I think there are safety issues.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that cheerleading is a sport, and I think because you have the injuries, that's the reason that you have to make it a sport. And for years, because girls get scholarships. Cheerleading,
but you know what? It's a gender equity thing. It's a Title IX thing. You want to be able to count how many female athletes / male athletes, and because you have football, there's no female equivalent to that. To even out the numbers gender equity wise. That's why they're making it a sport.
That's true, because I know volleyball goes at the same time, but you're right.
But how many volleyball players are on a team? 12 to 15?
Exactly.
In football, you have 60, 70?
On a team like Centennial, you might have 80, 90 kids on that team.
It's a gender equity Title IX type of thing, and I don't know if they're saying that out front, but it is.
Okay. Well, you heard it first here with Miss Gardner. Anything else big coming up or anything? I know we're pressed against time. We got about 2 minutes, but anything that we should know that's on Michelle's radar, or anything that's blazing hot?
Well, I don't know. Going back to the Rancho Chino Hills game, apparently Chino Hills quarterback is out. Their backup quarterback got hurt 3 or so weeks ago, and so the starting quarterback is now out. So they're pretty low on the depth chart here, and they've got a freshman that started last night against Osos. So we'll see how the Huskies do moving forward, but I got to think when you get into the tougher baseline league games with Rancho Upland,
Etiwanda? No?
Yeah, no, Etiwanda too. But
I gotta say that for my daughter.
I understand, but Osos was the 6th place team in the league last year, and they got by Osos 13-0. So I got to think that there are tough games ahead for the Huskies, but you never know.
Right. Absolutely. So we definitely appreciate Miss Gardner coming in and sitting in for Eternal on IE Sportsnet. We're going to have to do this a monthly thing. And we'll have you call in, and then we got to have you sit in with us at least once a month to get some of that good stuff. What's your Twitter again?
It's M. Gardner Sports.
There you go. Make sure you follow Miss Gardner on Twitter. Get all the updates and all the information. Check her out in the Daily Bulletin, one of the best writers in all of the Inland Valley. We thank you so much for listening to IE Sports Net with Coach B and Miss Gardner sitting in for Eternal. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM.
Yo, what up? This is Sendog from Cypress Hill. You're listening to me on IE Sportsnet all day long, all day strong, you heard?